So my question is, as an entrepreneur, how can I find the right VC? How should I select the VC that I should approach?
Yeah, for a first-time entrepreneur, I think fundraising feels like a very daunting experience. I think a good way to think about is a lot of the early stage fundraising, it's building the trust. So we're going to talk about this a little bit more. But for instance, if you are, let's say, in Singapore, and then I live in San Francisco, I don't have the context. All of a sudden, you send me an email and trying to build that trust is really difficult, right? So the main question on your fundraising is first, how do you create a little bit of momentum in your fundraising? Very often, that's how the first check comes in. It's your network that knows you quite well. They can command a little bit of capital, maybe even if it's 10,000, maybe it's $50,000. But once you approach someone and say, I already have some capital in, that's much easier because you're trying to create momentum in the fundraising. But not always the companies that come to us have raised any capital. So that's definitely not a requirement. So when they come to us, for us, what we're really trying to look at with the entrepreneurs is, can they execute the plan that they tell us they can? And we can break it down a little bit of what we are looking for when we think about the deals and get more into like the specifics on the tips. But I think the thing for you as an entrepreneur to remember is always the word trust. How this some person that I've never met sitting across on the Zoom call is going to give me the first call, the first 30 minutes, the first 1 hour. What is the best way for me to create trust and empathy through that conversation? Finding the match to the investor, that's a really, really good question. I think some investors would write the last 25% of your round. So let's say if you're raising $500,000 and they say, I will only write the last 100K, please come back for the first 400K. 500 startups, for instance, are often the first money or the first institutional money. So understanding a little bit of the investment thesis and where each fund comes in, it's very important also in your fundraising cycle.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get this question a lot as a mentor as well. And what I usually advise founders of is to, when they are stepping out to get the first external round, so not friends and family, to get help. And what I mean by that is find someone that has raised money or is an experienced entrepreneur or just understands the environment that you are in when you're starting your company a little bit better, because a little bit of guidance goes a long way, as you said, to find that, build that trust. If a recommendation comes through from someone that the VC has engaged with before, they will be much more likely to make 10, 15, 20 minutes of their time and carve it out for a meeting.